Oh, there's your picture there. Hello, Arianna. Well, today will be your 14th birthday, won't it? Um, I've literally only decided to do this about a minute or two ago. Um, with all due respect, you've not actually been the forefront of my mind because since Boxing Day, I've been struck down with the most terrible flu. Um, on Boxing Day, I woke up. Um, or rather, I tried to wake up because I was getting ready for work, and I just couldn't get up. I went to work. I said I wanted to do a lot of hours on the till, which is unlike me because I like to be kept active, and I managed to get through the shift okay. Now, I had planned to take my stuff with me to work because I was going to Isle of Wight for a couple of days to see Ben and his mother. Ben's nan passed away at the grand old age of 98 last year, and I should have seen. I had opportunity to see Ben's mum in the year before, but I chose not to because with his nan still alive, it felt very uncomfortable seeing somebody who was in the dementia phase, probably as bad as my mum. It was too many bad memories, so I just abstained from going. But when I was allowed to have a couple of days off over Christmas, I thought, I'll go and sort of celebrate Ben's birthday because that's on the 28th of December. And then I'll come back for my stock take shift and whatever. But I came home after my shift on Boxing Day, got my stuff together, got a taxi to Portsmouth Harbour, and I got picked up the other side on the Isle of Wight. The following day, I struggled to get out of bed again. Didn't get out of bed till about 9:45, and I'm an early riser. It's quite common for me to wake up about 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. So Ben and his mum seemed confused that they'd been up and about for hours, and I sort of stroll out, onto the landing about 9:45 or whatever time it was. Anyway, I think we went out to a pub or something in Newport the day after Boxing Day. And when I got back, even though I hadn't done a lot of walking, I said I felt really tired. So I said I was going to go to bed for a couple of hours, and I went to sleep for about 2.5 hours. Very unlike me. The next day, which was Ben's birthday, I said I wanted to go home early because I wanted to prepare for the very next day. So we went out for lunch for Ben's birthday. We went to a lovely pub. It was called Woodvale, but I've no idea whereabouts it was. Wasn't really paying attention. Then they sort of like drove me to Ryde, and I got the ferry from there to Portsmouth. I popped into work on the way home to get some food, and they asked me if I wanted to work any extra hours the following day. And I said I wouldn't be of much use whatsoever. I said I'm really not feeling well. They were telling me that there was quite a few people that were sick or whatever, including Michelle, who's never ill. And anyway, the following morning, I phoned up quite early and I said, look, do you actually need me in? I can come in an hour early if you want. He goes, yeah, come in. So I did. So instead of coming in at 10, I came in at 9. And I was sent on my break at 2 o'clock. I was on my break for about an hour. And when I got off about 3 o'clock, after about 15 minutes, I started to feel really dizzy. I started shivering. I was really cold. And I was on the till at the time, and I started trying to get the pennies out of the till, and I was shaking and I couldn't pour them out to give them to customers. My boss was concerned that if I was sitting down on a chair, that I wouldn't be able to see into people's trolleys to see what he had. So I had to stand up every so often, but I could only do that for a couple of seconds at a time before I sat down. And because of where I was sitting, it was putting an awful lot of pain around my neck because I wasn't really sitting at the right angle for serving customers. Anyway, we got to about 4 o'clock and I rang 3 bells, and Jack, the assistant manager, approached the till and he said, Paul, you're going home. My lips had gone blue. I was shaking as I walked towards the office, and I was so scared. I thought, what the hell is wrong with me? I'm shaking. I'm freezing cold. Anyway, that night I got a taxi to a surgery. This was on the 29th of December. They said I just had flu and told me to take a paracetamol and ibuprofen, which I have been doing the last few days. But I then said I need a few days away from work. And so far, it's now Saturday, so I'm recording this a little bit early, but I've been off for nearly a week. By the time I return, it will be the earliest of Tuesday, which would have meant that I would have been off for about 8 or 9 days, which is unheard of for me. But the really weird thing is, I had COVID 2 years ago, and I was off work for about one day with that, and I was bad for a very short period of time, and then I got better. This flu has actually absolutely wiped me out. So yeah, the 30th of December, I didn't go out of the house, and I basically stayed under a duvet for most of the day. I had the TV on, but I wasn't really paying attention. I was drifting in and out of consciousness, and that carried on till the next day, which was New Year's Eve. So 2 days running, no visitors. I was on my own, freezing cold, covered. Had a duvet around me, not really watching the telly. My phone quite near me, but felt like it was too much effort to pick it up and have a look to see who was messaging me. I didn't even wash for 2 days because I was so tired. I also wasn't sleeping because I think because I was drifting out of consciousness throughout the whole day. When I went to bed, I couldn't get off, and it's annoying going to bed and you can't sleep. But also, my body temperature was weird. I was freezing cold, but I was sweating buckets. So I'd wake up in the morning and even though I'd been cold, the t-shirt that I was wearing underneath my 2 duvets was soaked through. Now, about a week earlier, that wasn't an issue. I was wearing these things and I was fine. But, a few days later, I'm freezing cold and, my body is basically sweating through bloody t-shirts or whatever. So I've been getting through an awful lot of washing, even though I've not been going out. So that went on for 2 days. The next 2 days was a bit better in the sense I was watching a bit of TV, and I was walking around a little bit, but did occasionally drift off for about half an hour here and there. But at least that was a massive improvement over what had happened before. Today is Saturday, the 4th of January, and today is the first day that I've been out in about a week. I went out twice. I went to the Pompey Centre to do some shopping, and then I came back, and then I found out that it was my friend Tina's birthday tomorrow. So I contacted her asking if she was free, and we arranged to meet for a coffee in Tesco, same area, Pompey Centre. And when I got back, I was so knackered, been out of breath. So it was good that I phoned work earlier this morning to say I needed a bit more time, because I would not have been able to cope with a 10 or 11 hour shift tomorrow. So that's that. Anyway, that's about 9 minutes of waffling about me being ill. But hopefully I'll be back to work on Tuesday, which will be... hang on a minute. 4, 6, which will be your birthday. Okay. You can tell I'm not really right in the head at the moment, can't you? What can I tell you about the last year? I haven't prepped anything whatsoever, so I'm probably be able to keep this a lot brief. Me and my sister are not talking. From the previous message, basically me and my sister's family fell out. They got the hump that I was left the house and they weren't, but I'd been living here for 20 years and they hadn't. And I'd also contributed to the house. They hadn't. I went halves with the windows many years ago, which is about 600 quid each. And they also got fed up about the fact that I changed the barrel on the door so they couldn't get in, even though they said they would never come here without my say-so. The fact that they got really upset about it would suggest that I had reasons not to believe them. The reason why I changed the barrel on the door was because 24 hours or 40 hours after Mum passed away, I was being tapped up for money and tapped up for food. And I just thought, oh, here we go. It started, hasn't it? And it's like, I just thought it was so inappropriate. Like, I've just been told that Mum's died, and all they can think about is, oh, Paul, can you give me £200, please? Because I want to go and hang around with my daughter. Do whatever. So anyway, a lot of things have changed. I've had a lot of work done to the house. The last time I posted something on here, the upstairs has been done. A lot of the downstairs has been done now, including some of the garden. Although, when I say the garden's been done, I've done things in the sense that I don't want to be doing anything to the garden at all. Like, it needs a lot of de-weeding and stuff like that, where it's become through the cement. But basically, I put a load of stones where the actual plants were, to prevent any further stuff coming through. Occasionally weeds do come through and I can pull them out, and it's not a big deal, but at least it's something I can keep on top of. And it's not a part of the house I really care about. Downstairs, the hallway, the stairs, the 2 living rooms are done. Oh, and the kitchen. But the bathroom hasn't been done. That's going to be done probably sometime this year. The plan was to try to get as much money together as I could to pay for that. There's going to be an awful lot of damp treatments, and a few people have said that I've done everything the wrong way round. They said that I should have started from the back of the house, and then, because obviously you're going to traipse an awful lot of crap in through the house, and they're right about that. But the reason why a mistake was made was because originally I wasn't sure if I was going to do anything with the bathroom. And then when work was started on other parts of the house, I bent down in the bathroom, leant on the sink, and it moved. In other words, the plaster behind the sink is brittle, and the rod that sticks into the wall is moving. So it's too late, isn't it? So when I get somebody to have a look at this place, I'll have to say, look, I understand you're going to make some mess, but I need you to put down an awful lot of sheets so that you don't basically, tread it into the floor, into the wall, etc. And just keep the just keep the mess at a minimum. I will do a bit of a walkthrough in a minute so you can see what I've done. In fact, I'll do that now. I'll switch. Well, anyway, it's a bit of an eyesore at the moment because obviously, as I said, I've been under a duvet for the last few days. That is the new settee. Previously, it was a Chesterton, which me and Ben couldn't get out of the house because we found out when the Chesterfield, when the Chesterfield 2-seater or 3-seater settee was originally delivered here before I moved in, it was delivered through the window. And it was only when I was made arrangements to try to sell the bloody thing, I realised I couldn't get it through the bloody hallway. And then next door told me, oh no, a glazier removed the window and they got it through the bloody window that way. And I'm thinking, well, I'm not paying a glazier to take the window out so I could sell the settee for less than what the actual glazier's charging. So me and Ben hacked it to bits and put it into bin liners and fly tipped a lot of it. Anyway, this place did not have a lot of things on the wall. I mean, it's got a lot of stuff now. I should point out there's not a lot of stuff of mum in here, and that's not because I don't care. The issue is when I took photos, not that I took that many photos or whatever, the photos were never taken at the time to have any particular purpose. Like all the holiday photos I had were never actually taken to actually go on the wall. And the ones I took of mum, which weren't that many, they're somewhat very low resolution, so they're small, but also there's not that many of them. I mean, I can't exactly make have photos taken at gunpoint. So that's one I've never been keen on. Not because I don't like it, it's because of what it represents, to do with an argument where your mum forced me to have it. But this is a very treasured one. This is the last time I saw you, where I burst into tears as I left you. Now, these are a variety of ones here. I can't actually remember all of these. I think the one on the top is probably me and Ben going to Lanzarote. I think what actually happened was that the plane was delayed and they allowed us to have a cockpit shot, so we did. The one below that onto the left, I think, is me and Ben going to Budapest. The reason why we got masks on is because the restrictions were that we had to wear masks. Let's wind in a bit. We had to wear masks in order to get on the plane. The one in the middle is me, Ben, and a woman called Belinda in Malta, where we went to a Maltese themed dancing night where me and Ben ate horse unknowingly. That one there is our little funny costumes in Istanbul. The one below that is also Malta. That's quite a funny story, that, but I won't bore you with. Two people on the left are French. Two people in the middle are Polish and Irish, and that's me and Ben on the far right. That one there is me and Ben and a few other people we don't know in Poland. That's Scotland. That's Turkey, but I can't remember where exactly. That is Pamukkale in near Marmaris. And that is the Shambles in York. Now, these are various memories of you. That one there apparently is like me getting you on or you learning how to ride a donkey for the first time, if you're assuming your mum's telling me the truth. Various other ones there. Okay. There's a bare wall there. I will put something there soon. I should also point out, I have laminate flooring here. This was my friend Joanne's idea. Even though she never comes around, she said, "Oh, get laminate flooring, it'll look really nice." So it's something I'm quite proud of. We're going into the other room. All this furniture is basically new. That is new. These are new and pointless. These were meant to be side tables for my 3-seater furniture in the other room. But then I basically wanted something smaller, and these have become a complete waste of time. They look nice though. My new computer table to get rid of, to supersede the other one. This is a table that I'm just protecting with a tablecloth over it. Nothing special about that. My little shoe rack. More memories there. That's mostly me and Ben on holiday with various people. I won't dwell on that. Now we've got Mum. Now I really wanted a big photo, but unfortunately, because of the poor quality of the original photo, I couldn't get it blown up any bigger, so it is what it is. And the reason why this is 3 is exactly for that reason. It wasn't to save money, it's just I couldn't bloody get these any bigger. And that's one of my favourite photos of you. That was I can't remember the name of it, but it's it's no longer there now. But it's what's it now? Some garden centre that was in Newport that burnt down apparently. That is my hallway. I will be replacing that door at some point because it's this sill's a bit dodgy and stuff. Now that is the hallway, and I've got these little lights in, and they light up when you walk up the stairs. That one is dead at the moment and needs charging up, and the reason why that goes dead first is because it's they react to sort of like I think body temperature, because that's the nearest one to me. That's the one that's the most used. If I actually changed that and moved it somewhere else, it would actually light up. But hey ho. Right, I'm going to close the door. Now I'm going to take you into the kitchen. I should also say, not that you can really tell, but if you can look at that, that is what the kitchen used to look like. Although forget that little pole there, they found out that there was no lintel and the builder was actually worried it might fall down. And this here is a threshold. Well, I never realised why the floor wasn't level. It was at two different layers, and then we found out there was a bloody threshold there. We've since had it screeded, and it's now flat. It's also bloody cold in here, and I bought a couple of dehumidifiers to sort of like sort the actual water issues out. I just bought a cheap one. I wish I hadn't bothered with that because it doesn't do much. Anyway. And the cooker is at a level that I can actually, you open and it's just at a great level, really. And unfortunately, although the door is new, the bathroom isn't. And now you're going to see why this is a fuck up. Yep, it moves. Right, I'm now going to take you back into into the living room. Right, back on me. Right. It's 9:05 on Saturday. I think I'll go to bed soon because I'm really tired. I've just got no air in my lungs right now. Well, the last year was really about trying to save money. Like I like going on holiday about 2 or 3 times a year, but I had to curtail that big time because I think the house improvements probably ran to about £30,000. So there was Audrey whinging about the fact that she only got 36,000, and it's cost me 30,000 to get all this sorted. And it's going to escalate because it might be another £15,000 plus for the bathroom. Plus, I've got to get the outside of the bathroom and kitchen repainted because it started to peel away, and I'm a bit worried that the rain hitting the bare wall is basically going to bring the damp back. So even though I've got dehumidifiers, I've got to keep that at bay until the builder comes, which means that the old paint's going to have to be peeled off, and it's going to have to be applied probably about another 2 or 3 times. And I may have to have a similar thing done on the outside of the front as well, but or if not, I'll have to be repointed. But I can leave that for the time being. But yeah, a front and a back door, and the outside of the kitchen stroke bathroom has got to be painted, and I need a new kitchen. And when I say new kitchen, I mean like I'm planning for the future. I don't want a bath. I'm just going to get a shower, and that'll be it. And I've been told that bathrooms don't really cost that much because you don't have the gas man coming in. You don't really have an electrician coming in. It's all very basic. It's just like a plumber and a plasterer and someone who can do damp course. That's pretty much it. Whereas the kitchen, you add a gas man, you had an electrician. All these extra people you adds on to the cost, and it's a pain in the arse. So it shouldn't be quite as bad as the other stuff, but it's the sad thing is the cost of living just means that you keep working really, really hard, and your bank balance doesn't go up, and people seem to think, oh, if you own your own house, you must be a millionaire. Right. If you've got anything wrong with your property, the council or the housing association aren't paying for it. You are, and if you're not earning, the work's not getting done. So, I've basically had a week off, and I'm just going to get paid for 6.5 hours work because that's all I did on last Sunday, and I've got tomorrow off, and that means that I lose about 11 hours worth of pay for that. Now, I can't really afford to lose 11 hours, but the trouble is, I'm so knackered, I can't envisage working for 11 hours tomorrow. I need that day off. Monday's my day off. So I'm hoping having a further 2 days off will basically mean that when I go to work on Tuesday, which is only 7 hours, I might be able to get through it. If I don't, I've got problems because I can't afford to take any time off. Because, yeah, anyway. So last year, what did I do? When I went out with work colleagues a few times, that was quite nice. Holiday wise, where did I go? Can't bloody remember. Oh yeah, that was it. We went to Split in Croatia. So it's a very pretty place, but there's not a lot to do there, and it's a massive tourist trap, and the price is quite expensive wherever you go, and the food's crap. So yeah, we didn't particularly eat very well there, but yeah, it's a good place to sort of mosey around. It's all right. We went to we saw a lot of waterfalls. We went to Kirker Falls. We went to Bosnia, where there's some other falls called Kravica, which we really liked because we were really close to them. And Bosnia is just lovely because there's like this lovely bridge that you walk over and winding streets and whatever, with like people selling their sort of wares either side of the lanes or whatever it is. Oh, it's just absolutely lovely. And Bosnia's half the price of Split. I'd love to have gone. I'd love to have spent more time there because it takes a long time by coach to get there. And I wish we could have spent more time there. And the bit is cheap. So yeah, I really liked it there. We also went to another place called Plivica Lakes or whatever, but it wasn't the greatest weather for it, and it was very, very tiring and not great for my arthritic knees. I was absolutely worn out. I mean, it was one of those holidays I went on where I came back and I could have done with an extra 3 days off work, because it was like, sometimes like you just overdo it on your holiday and you need more time off when you come back. But excuse me, it's done now. So that was going to be the only holiday we did this year, which was in September, I think it was, because I didn't actually go away on my holiday. I didn't go away in May. We just did bits and pieces here and there. But then what me and Ben did do is we went to Dieppe in France. It's like an overnight trip. So what it is, it's just like you basically use it as a way of going and buying a load of cheap fags for people, and then because the actual sailing is quite cheap, you end up getting it for free once you sell the stuff on. So it's just, yeah, that's all it was really. And then in December, me and Ben were at a loose end because Jo was spending some time with her friend Sheena the same week that me and Ben had nothing to do. So just out of nowhere, I said to Ben, do you fancy go to Edinburgh for a few days? So we went to Edinburgh again, and we went to Glasgow while we were up there. Now, originally the plan was for me, Ben and Jo the previous year to go to Edinburgh to sprinkle Mum's ashes on Forth Bridge, because Mum used to bang on about the Forth Bridge, and I thought it'd be a really good thing to do. However, the reason that never happened, for two reasons. One is Jo was whinging that Scotland would be really, really cold, so she didn't want to go. And I thought, well, what I really want to do is I want somebody to take a photo of me and Ben in the picture scattering the ashes. So we needed a third person there. But then when Audrey wanted her share of Mum's ashes, it didn't seem practical for me to sprinkle Mum's ashes when there's some of Mum's ashes in another urn somewhere. So I thought, do you know what? Apart from the fact that you have to, there's sort of various documentation you have to do. Like, you can't just sort of like get on a plane with an urn, which could be full of cocaine. I'm not quite sure what you've got to do, but there's a lot more to it than just turning up with an urn. So I'm kind of glad that Mum's urn is with me, and I'll quickly flip this. It's normally in the centre, but because I had a Christmas tree there, which is, I decided to put Mum's urn there, but normally it would be in the middle. But when those cards go, it'll go back in the centre. But I quite like that urn. I think Sophie, my niece, liked the urn so much that she wanted to get something very, very similar. You know, what some people like, they don't want to be left out, do they? So that's pretty much been it. You know, I've applied for the deeds to the house. I've paid for the deeds, but I don't have them. So I paid the solicitor. It's now down to the courts or whatever it is to send me all the bollocks to say, oh, you know, here's the deeds. Takes a bloody long time. I applied for him in April, and I think I paid for him in September, October, and I still don't have them. And only cost about 700 quid. Well, only, but you know what I mean. You think, and the actual probate was done within 16 weeks, and yet this has taken about 8 months and counting. You work that one out, and the deeds are cheaper than the probate. And all the deeds is just to say that the house belongs to me. Although, as somebody said, you don't really need to do that. It's not that important. But because I just wanted like some documentation to say that it's mine. I mean, I wish I hadn't bothered now, but it is what it is, isn't it? So that, I think, is it. Supposed to go out on New Year's Eve with Joe and Ben to celebrate the New Year in. But I got ill, so it never happened. I did go out on Christmas Day. I went out for a curry with Joe because we went out for a Toby Carvery the previous year, which was quite nice but quite expensive because you're paying them the privilege of being there. But if you go to a curry house, well, they're Muslims and it's just another day to them. They don't care. So it actually cost us about half the price. But also I thought the quality was half as good. But then that was the last decent day I had because I woke up the next day and I could hardly walk. Or rather, not walk, I could hardly move. So, yeah, happy days. Not exactly been the great end to the year or even the great start to this year. But hey, ho. But I'm walking around as if I've inherited mum's lungs. Just struggling to breathe. And I don't even use inhalers like my mum did. So, yeah. Reminds me of like, you know, leading up to when mum died or whatever. It's like she's walking upstairs and like she's breathing heavily until she sort of went, God rest her soul. Anyway, I've bored you to death as usual, assuming you ever see this. Obviously, I'm an old fart and I use different social media to young people. If you're using TikTok, it's not something I use or understand. So maybe, you know, I'm just hoping that you'll Google your name and you'll come across this and you'll find out a little bit about me and a little bit about yourself. Obviously, you haven't learned anything about yourself in this video because, well, I've probably said everything I've needed to say over the last few years and it's not like there's been any new stories that I'm aware of. I still miss you. I still worry about the future. Oh, something I have missed. I did try to make contact with your cousin Ellie Pugh. I tried to contact her via Instagram, Facebook, and I think Snapchat, the latter of which I no longer use. And she either didn't respond to me or she didn't see it. I don't know why I'm telling you this. I've just remembered that I told you all this last year. But anyway, since the fact that nothing happened, I just decided it was important for me to get on with my life. Am I having an amazing life? No, I'm not. I've become a very boring old fart who's, you know, no longer interested in having a good time. I just seem to be interested in honouring mum's memory, in trying to get this house in the right way. But something has actually happened over the last few days. And it was a nice thing that a work colleague said. I said to Alicia that, who's someone I work with, I said, I don't really have that many friends. I said, I have like some acquaintances that don't live in the area, like Simon and Caroline. And then, of course, I have like my close friends, Ben and Joe. But Ben was with his mum in the Isle of Wight. And Joe is quite vulnerable in terms of her illnesses, so hasn't visited me since I got ill. And so the issue was that when I start eating food, not that I have eaten that much over the last few days, and I start running out of supplies, there's no one who can pick anything up for me because Jo won't do it because she doesn't want to catch anything what I've got, and Ben doesn't live locally, and it's not fair for him to travel about an hour and a half from where he lives in Surrey, or expect him to come over from the Isle of Wight if that's where he is. So I've either got to go and get it myself, which I don't feel up to doing, or that's it. Now, Alicia sort of said that she would have got me some stuff if I'd asked for it. And she also said, when I told her that I was worried about when I got ill recently, I was worried about going into hospital. And I said, that really worries me. I said, because I don't have a great network of friends. And I said, I remember like when Mum went in and she didn't get that many visitors. And she sort of said, but Paul, of course, if we knew that you were in hospital, of course we'd come and visit you. And this is it. Like sometimes you just don't think that when you've got like a social circle as small as mine, you just think and especially like when I've been here for the whole week on my own. I mean, Ben did come back from Isle of Wight, and all he did was he dropped some stuff off. He went across the road to get some food for me. He came back. We chatted for about 10, 15 minutes, and then he left. And that is the only social contact I've had. That which was what? Thursday? That was Thursday. I hadn't seen anyone since Sunday. Apart from Morrison's delivery driver that Joe sent round here to deliver some paracetamol. That is the only social contact I've had. And yes, okay, I've exchanged messages with people through social media, etc. But because I've been so tired, there are times when I just leave my phone there and just thought, oh, I'll answer it later when I've got a bit of strength back. And I did see my ex-work colleague Tina today. But that's it. And it just sort of makes you worry. It just makes you worry, doesn't it? That, even forgetting the fact that me and Audrey have got nothing in common, even if we hadn't fallen out, she would never have been someone I could have counted on anyway. And why do I say that? Because she wasn't someone I could count on when Mum was alive. And the sad thing is, I've almost basically inherited Mum's problems, in the sense that if anything happens to me, I've actually got even less going for me than she had, because at least like when Mum got ill, I was here. When I get ill, there's no one here. And that's quite sad. And no, it's not a plea to get you to come to me, because, at the end of the day, you have a life of your own, and I wouldn't want that. I want you to be happy and all that. But it's just sort of like, so many things have gone wrong in my life over the last few years that it sort of like stems your enthusiasm to sort of get on in life. And Mum being ill all that time didn't really help it, because I had to sort of like massively compromise my time to accommodate my mum. And that meant that I wasn't giving myself time. And I've just forgotten how to make friends. I'm not just forgotten. I don't even think I care anymore. I just think, oh, what's the point? I can't be bothered. So when people like Alicia said, oh, if you'd gone into hospital, I would have come and seen you, I thought, oh, really? I thank you. So, it's just nice when people say things like that. But I think I'm going to have to cast the net a bit wider, because there's like Rob's, who's my late brother, his ex-girlfriend lives around the corner, and I could have got her to have picked stuff up for me, but I didn't want to impose. And that's the thing, isn't it? You don't want to impose on people. By not imposing, you often push these people away. So it is what it is. But this last week has really scared the crap out of me. It's really made me realise just how vulnerable I am if anything goes wrong. I mean, I'm planning things for the future, like, I've like put in like a new metal banister and grab bars in case I have an accident like Mum and fall down the stairs. So I've got all that done. But the sad thing is, if I have an accident, who's going to come and help me? I mean, I've got like arthritis in both my hips now, and I'm not going to be able to carry on doing an awful lot of hours forever. But like I said, if anything happens to me, I've really got problems. And I'm only 54. It's quite terrifying, isn't it? Am I 54? This is the thing, as you get older, you forget how old you are. Oh well. Isn't this depressing? Sorry, it's not been the greatest week. If I hadn't got a cold, you wouldn't have had all this shit. But hey ho. All right, well, maybe I will see you in the future. I don't know. All right, take care. Happy birthday. Bye.